Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Robert Barr, and I'm pleased that you're joining me and one another for this streaming Shabbat service. This is an opportunity for us to pause, to catch our breath, to think about where we've been and where we're going. So put away the pencil and the paper, put away the notebook and the keys, set aside the shovel and hammer. Rest. For this interval, no buying, no selling, no working, no laboring, no straining, not living in the past, not planning for the future. This is a time for celebration, for joy, for mirth. We are here alive to rejoice in another Sabbath, another opportunity to be together, grateful for our family and our friends. With no distraction, we touch and are touched, the great gift of the Sabbath. Again, I'm Rabbi Robert Barr of Congregation Beth Adam. That's our bricks and mortar congregation here in Loveland, Ohio. That's part of Greater Cincinnati. And our Jewish community, our online initiative, which began 14 years ago. When we went online, people thought we were crazy. They didn't understand the opportunity that the online world presented. We recognized it early, and we had an incredible experience reaching out to people literally around the world, remaining connected to members who had moved to other cities. Students who had studied here had moved as well. And during the pandemic, the internet became even more important. It allowed us to remain connected. And today, we are doing many hybrid services and events. Both adult education and some services are hybrid. People in the sanctuary or in the library and online simultaneously. The online world is a fascinating place that allows us to remain connected, to know we're part of a community, part of something larger than ourselves. But we can't be so enamored with technology that we forget that ultimately it's the voice of Judaism that is really so essential. For here at Congregation Beth Adam, for over 40 years, we have been giving voice to a bold, dynamic Judaism. A Judaism that recognizes we are not our ancestors. It's time to stop mimicking what they wrote or parroting what they said and find our own words to give expression to who we are, what we believe, what we value. That's what we're doing here. That's why our liturgy has been rewritten. That's why our educational programs are different than congregations literally around the world. This is a bold, dynamic institution, and you're part of it by being part of our streaming service this evening. Now, streaming means many things. It means you can chat during services. I know people on our bethadam.org website like communicating. That's great. Everyone's respectful and inclusive. You can chat also on our Facebook pages. Let us know where you're participating from. We'd love to know that. It's always nice to know how far our reach is. It also means we can all time shift a bit. That means if 7 o'clock isn't convenient for you, you can watch the service anytime it's convenient for you. It also means I can record a conversation with somebody in a different place or a different time and bring it into the service. And that's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. But I'll wait to tell you more about that in a moment. First, let's light the Shabbat candles. On this Shabbat, we create our moment in time. We pause to reflect upon our yesterdays and tomorrows, to renew our ties with family and friends, to restore our energies, to refresh our spirits. As the sun descends and shadows lengthen, the direction of the day gives way to the stillness of night. It's time now for us to see not with our eyes, but with our hearts and minds. As the day gives way to evening, it's time for us to welcome the Shabbat. The candles stand before us, waiting to be lit. We recall our ancestors as we too seek to dispel the darkness and banish the cold, to bring glowing softness, warmth, and safety into our homes. May the dancing flames of these candles kindle warmth within our hearts, wisdom in our mind, passion in our souls. Baruch ha'or ba'olam, blessed is the light within the world. Baruch ha'or ba'adam, blessed is the light within each person. Baruch ha'or Shabbat, blessed is the light of the Sabbath. In time, disturbances will pass. Difficulties will dissolve. In time, aggravations will be forgotten. Obstacles will be overcome. In time, we will find solutions to our most pressing problems. Mountains move and even disappear. Clouds part, revealing an ever-present sun. In time, moments of desperation will give way to an inner calm, and through others, we will find comfort for our fears. In time, may we find ways to accept life's unending turbulence completely and move gently forward in time. Excuse me. So I sort of hinted at the fact that I recorded a conversation in a different place at a different time, and we're going to listen to that conversation in a moment. I recorded a conversation with a gentleman, Jeff Torres. My sense is many of you probably don't know his name, but perhaps you've seen his face. Jeff was a student of my brother Eric's out in California. And recently I was out in California visiting my brother and sister-in-law, and Jeff stopped by for a visit as well. And I imposed upon him to have a conversation. I did it in part because he is part of an iconic aspect of American culture, the Super Bowl commercial. I'm going to let him explain it now. So this is going to be one of the more difficult conversations because behind the camera is a director, a mentor, a brother.
Yeah.
So I am here with Jeff Torres, who I really met today, and I'm so really excited. We're at my brother Eric's home and Karen's home up in the mountains, and Jeff came over for a visit, and I thought this was going to be a great opportunity to have a conversation. It's really a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, I got roped into this, and here I am.
There you go. I thought, but it seems so apropos. We're recording this before the Super Bowl, and many of us were going to watch this after the Super Bowl.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And the Super Bowl is such an iconic American experience, and a big part of that is the commercials.
Yeah.
And you are one of those people who made American history by being in a Super Bowl commercial.
Yes, I played Tarzan in the Geico commercial a couple of years ago. Yeah.
So what was Tarzan? Was it a smart Tarzan, a silly Tarzan?
It was a caveman Tarzan kind of, a hybrid. He was arguing over directions with Jane. We're arguing over which way to go. I don't want to ask for directions because I'm the king of the jungle. She begs to differ, wants to ask a monkey where the waterfall is. Silliness ensues. That's pretty much that's what happened.
So after that, we were like, did people go the Geico Tarzan?
Yeah, a lot of people a lot of friends. They said what's really funny is I'm talking in this kind of like caveman voice or whatever, and a lot of friends messaged me. They were like, oh, we had the Super Bowl on, and I was like in the kitchen, and I just heard the voice, and I knew it was you. And I'm like, how did you know? What do you mean? That's not how I talk. I don't talk like that.
That's nice.
That sounded a little offensive, but that's okay. I was just talking to Eric that I need to work on my diction, so maybe it's true. Maybe that is how I talk. I don't know. Some people would ask me, but also I had a wig on, and also I was in a loincloth, so a lot of people didn't recognize me necessarily. The people that knew me knew.
Yeah. But did you think about that you were part of sort of this American experience, the Super Bowl commercial?
I had no idea. I didn't know. I didn't know until it happened while we were watching it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, we shot, they had shot, if I remember right, they'd shot a bunch of new ads all at the same time. So within like the same week or two, they had shot a bunch of different commercials, and it was a situation where they had been releasing them every 3 months, every 12 weeks, something. Okay. I can't remember, something like that. I think it was every 3 months. Anyway, so they would release them every quarter, and then I was like, oh no, like when is mine going to be released? Is it going to be released? I don't know. And and we're watching the game, and I was like, oh my god, that's my commercial. Like that's mine. It was kind of a shock. I had no idea.
Oh really?
I didn't know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But clearly that's not the only thing you've done. You're an actor, professional actor, and that's what you've been doing. That's how you met Eric.
Yeah, I learned a lot from Eric. He taught me pretty much the foundation of my acting stuff. So I studied at UC Riverside, and and I've been in LA for years now, and I've just been doing some things. And I got a movie coming out February 3rd.
February 3rd or March 3rd?
February 3rd, yeah.
So that's
March 3rd.
March
Sorry,
3rd.
March 3rd. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because that would be yesterday.
right. I was going to say that was pretty impressive.
That'd be. Yeah, that's incorrect.
It's that time travel thing.
Yeah, no, wrong. Yeah.
So tell us about the movie you're in.
It's a film called A Donor Party. It's a good friend of mine directed and wrote it. His name's Tom Harp, and it's a comedy. It's got some amazing people in it. It's got Malin Ackerman, Rob Corddry, Jerry O'Connell's in it. Yeah, it's a really, really funny film, and I don't know how much I can talk about it. Really, I don't really know what I can say, but you guys have to watch the trailer, I guess, when it comes out, and then and then go watch it in theaters if it's in theaters. When it is, if it's in your city, go watch it.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So I sort of know how Eric got into acting. I think I'm not sure. How did you grew up here in Southern California? It's hard when somebody behind the camera.
Yeah.
How do you ignore them? You have to ignore them most of the time.
Yeah, they do. I ignore them anyway, usually most of the time.
that's what I did too. That's why it improved your acting by ignoring them.
Oh no.
So you grew up in Southern California? What brought you to wanting to be an actor?
I think I grew up watching a lot of films when I was growing up. It's what I did. I watched a ton of films, and I just kind of weirdly assumed everyone wanted to be an actor, I think.
Really?
I remember watching and being like, doesn't everyone want to do this? Doesn't everyone want to be an actor?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess not. I think a lot of other people didn't want to do that. Other people had no interest in that, turns out. But I did, and that's all that's just kind of, my vision was just kind of on that, and I started doing theater when I was in high school. Yeah, and then I ended up, after that, I went to college and studied theater there, and that's how that went.
And film versus live theater, did you have a preference, or you didn't?
With theater was the only thing I can get my hands on. In high school, that's pretty much it. We didn't, whatever. It wasn't easy to record stuff or film stuff, and I wasn't close enough to LA to go out there and do that kind of thing. So yeah, no, I would just do theater. That's kind of how I got into acting, and that's how I met Eric, and started teaching me, kind of just taught me the stuff. It kind of took me apart. It was like, oh, you're doing some good things. Don't do these things. Maybe do more of these things. Read this book. Read that book, and and then and so I've been kind of studying forever, I guess. Since then.
What's for us who watch films or watch TV or watch the commercials?
Sure.
What's the experience like? Is it a career? I mean, the career path must be a challenge. I can't imagine it's something that is just, the old story, they see you on the stool at the drugstore, and they go, we love that face, you're a star.
Yeah. No, it's just like, I think it's, I feel like the longer that I do it, the more I realize that all jobs have their own kind of quirks, and everyone, in some regard, I think, surprisingly, in so many different fields, people are trying to kind of make their way in and trying to find where they belong in the landscape of whatever profession they're doing. So I think acting's a little different in that it's not so straightforward, I guess, and it's not a linear thing. It isn't like you go to school and you learn and then suddenly you apply those skills and they're immediate, and it's I think the path for everyone's it's so unique, but I don't know. You just kind of try and figure it out, and you try to be humble and know that you don't know anything, and then learn and try to do good work when you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seems to me that it must be it's got to be a bit frustrating, or maybe more than a bit frustrating, because you're always being judged. It's not like you have a job that goes on for weeks and weeks. I mean, you were talking about the film that you shot. It was a couple weeks, and then you're looking for another job. Yeah. And you're always being judged. How as somebody who's always being evaluated, really almost every time you meet in a new place, how does that feel? How do you keep yourself able to keep on going forward when someone says, you're almost right, but you're not quite what we're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I guess that an actor's job is kind of interviewing. That's what your actual job is, and outside of once you acquire the job, but at any level, everyone is looking for other work. Everyone's looking to get their next project, to get their next thing that they're excited about. And famous people are doing that. People that are just starting out, it's just they're different echelons and how the competition works, and how I think like for me, they ask me to do work, and then I present the work as I see it, and that's kind of how I can do it, and I can do it my version of whatever they're asking me to do, and if it fits into their master plan of what they're doing, and then that's great. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really think too much about being judged. More so as just kind of doing what makes sense to me. Yeah. They're like, hey, paint a picture of fill in the blank, and I go, okay, cool. Well, this is how I would paint that, and that's kind of whatever when I'm working on scripts or auditions. That's what it is.
Interesting way to consider it.
No.
And then, so can you share other things that you've done? I mean, between the commercial that we talked about earlier and the movie that's coming out that you can only other than the name you can't really talk about.
Yeah, I was in a show called Pitch that was on Fox. I think it's on Hulu right now, maybe. And then I've done Criminal Minds, Beyond Borders, a couple of other TV shows here and there. I was on a show recently called Light Years. Is what I believe it's called. No, what is it called? It's called. Oh man, I can't do this. I think it's called Night Sky. Is what it's called. Night Sky with Sissy Spacek and J.K. Simmons, and it was a really cool little project that I got to go and shoot in Chicago. It was very fun. TV, maybe TV film stuff. Like independent films and stuff like that. I've been doing so. But yeah, I feel like with this film is kind of another level of thing that I'm gonna probably start doing. So yeah, I've been around. I've been doing some things here and there, but just keep going. Just keep trying to do new things and better things and work with new people and stuff.
And you also you write as well? Is that your poetry?
Yeah, I do poetry. I write some poetry that I'll share on my Instagram. I do a thing called Shirtless Kitchen on my Instagram where I cook shirtless. simple, healthy recipes. I try to make them,
And shirtless because that attracts.
No. I started doing that because I've been working out for a long time, and people would ask me like, "What do you do? What do you do? What kind of workouts do you do? What kind of this?" And I would always tell them, "Oh, it's what you eat. It's what you eat. It's what you eat." And whatever. And eventually, I was just like, "What if I just started just providing these little secrets? So hey, do this, cook this, do this, a quick recipe, so that's how I started doing that."
Really? So what's it? Because we just had lunch, and you had cottage cheese versus French fries. Is that one of the things that? I had French fries apparently, and I don't cook with my shirt off, which I'm sure lots of people are thrilled about.
Eric specifically is very thrilled about that. He's very excited. Once you are eating healthy long enough, you kind of know what nutrients are in what for the most part, and you are trying to meet certain numbers every, whatever your protein goals are, depending on your weight and how much exercise you do, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I'm kind of a nerd as far as that stuff goes. I always try to kind of figure out what's optimal, and then I change things. I'll eat more or less carbohydrates depending on what kind of exercises I'm doing or if I'm not exercising that day. So yeah, I'm pretty aware of it. I try to eat healthy and cook all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I cook a lot. So when I eat out, I don't feel bad about eating kind of whatever I want to eat. So yeah, that's kind of a big thing. I cook a lot. So yeah, that's the whole idea of me cooking is like, hey, look, if you want to look like this.
Well, you were. I have to say, you're impressive. I watched the Tarzan commercial. I mean, you look good. I mean,
yeah. And again, people would ask me, like, what are you doing? So it's just like I eat this. It's gonna be, eat healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, but you work. You do keto.
No, I don't do keto. No, I
keto.
Oh, Aikido. Yeah. I haven't done it in a while, but I did do it for a couple of years, and yeah, it put me in my body in a good way. But I've been lifting weights for a long time, and that's kind of mainly, I do that, and I swim. Swimming's great.
Really?
I love swimming. Yeah, it's great. You can't listen to music. You just got to listen to your breathing, kind of. So it's kind of like a cool like meditation in motion. Nice. I like being underwater. It's good.
Is that where you learned your dolphin calls?
No, it's not. It's not where. I don't know where I did that. I don't know. I was like a kid. I feel like I did that, and I just, yeah.
Because I know it's on your it's on your profile that that's one of your special talents.
Yeah. It's funny. People say it sounds like a squirrel. I think it sounds more like a dolphin. I'll see if I can do it. Just give me a second. I can't when I'm smiling. So you can't do it, So let me see if I can do this. I haven't done it in a while. Hold on. Something like that. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't do it right now.
Sorry, did you get voiceover work for that?
Not anymore. Not anymore. Lost it. If you don't use it, you lose it, and that's the real lesson here.
Is that so? You got to keep your. So there's a whole world out there of sounds.
Yeah.
So I find it intriguing knowing what you're doing, know what Eric did, teaching the sense that you're always learning. That it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like you learned how to be an actor and now you act the rest of your life. It's an evolutionary process where you continue to refine it.
Yeah.
You're still taking classes. You still are willing to listen to critiques. You're still working on it. You're talking about how do I improve this, which I think is it's an intriguing idea because in a lot of our lives, that's not how we approach it. We think we attain a skill and then once we have it, that skill is ours forever. And it doesn't feel like that.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. And it's funny because I don't think that's like a weird myth with anything. I don't know. I mean, I know people that are doctors and they're going to seminars all the time. I know people that are lawyers and they go to seminars and they're constantly learning new things and there's new technology that comes out. There's new whatever. And if you want to be at the forefront, if you want to stay relevant in any field, you have to be involved in it. And, in certain places you can shape the narrative of where the technology goes, how it's being used, and how people meet that technology and how we use it. So, I think that is definitely a myth of you can be very complacent and find something and be like, oh, I figured it out, but you didn't really figure it out. You figured out a part of it. And like anything, your skills can get rusty. I can't imagine. I don't know, a heart surgeon or something, or whatever. If you're not practicing, it's gonna.
Right. I think it's the only thing. I think there's something. I think I get people need to keep on learning, but that sense of always taking classes to learn how to use that sense of instrument about self. I think there's some more self-awareness.
Yeah, I guess
it's more internal than an external.
Yeah, I guess so. There's an accumulation of experiences. The more I remember, an acting teacher told me that at some point. It was like, there was a lot of actors in this class, and they were all very serious actors. And all I care about is acting. I just read plays, and I'm just in the theater. I'm this and that. And she said something like, "You're not gonna be a good actor if you're not a person first. So if you're not living your life and having actual experiences, then you're not you're not going to be able to be an actor. You can't.
Right.
Your job as an actor is to observe humanity, human nature, and then replicate it. But you can't do that if you have no frame of reference for what people are going through. Your imagination can only take you so far as some of that stuff goes. So. I guess that is true. Yeah, you are growing as a person all the time, and then you have to kind of recalibrate based on that, or now you've unlocked these new feelings, whatever they are, or unlocked new points of view, whatever it is. And so that's true. Yeah.
That's fascinating. So if someone wanted to follow you on Instagram and see you shirtless,
that's I am Jeff Torres. And you can. That's I think that's my Twitter handle and that's my Instagram handle, and. I'll post some recipes on there. There's like a library of things that I've posted before and things that I've cooked, and I try to make them short. They're like 30 seconds maybe, just quick little hey, this is what I did, and it took me 5-10 minutes or whatever. That's the whole point. The whole point is it's efficient and it's healthy for the most part. So
most part.
I think almost everything I think I post is actually healthy, or it'll be like some kind of a fitness advice or something.
And is there like one thing we should watch of you, that's a hard thing. It's like rabbi, you have a sermon you're really proud of. It's like have a good sermon.
What was that? The other sermons are whatever. Don't listen to those.
Don't listen, but this one is there
no, I would honestly, just if you want to, I think I post all my acting updates on my Instagram and stuff and my Twitter. So anything I would be posting my updates there, and just watch this movie when it comes out. I don't know, whenever this episode airs, and you watch this and be. I'm gonna go watch that film if it's in my city. So
And there's another one coming out as well too this year.
I don't know when that one's coming out yet. I actually don't know. We shot 2 films this year or last year. I shot 2 films with the same director, and the other one I don't know when it comes out. But hopefully later this year. Ideally, we'll see. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
But
Well, I really appreciate taking the time. I appreciate having the chance to sit and talk with you, and appreciate Eric being behind the camera, giving directions, telling us.
Yeah, I think he's telling us.
And I think he's telling us. You ever noticed? So, want to thank everybody for this. Thank you. And
thank you.
Good job. Thank you. I had a lot of fun recording that conversation, talking to Jeff, and with my brother Eric behind the camera, giving us hand gestures and even shouting cut at one point to get us to stop talking because we could have gone on for longer. It was a lot of fun. So, as Jeff mentioned, he has a movie coming out March 3rd. It's going to be in selected cities and online, and it's called The Donor Party, DONOR Party. I would encourage you to look at it. You can actually go online and look at its trailer. It is very funny. I think a lot of folks are going to go and really enjoy seeing that movie either in the theaters or online. Also, as he mentioned, he has his Instagram, which is at I am Jeff Torres, Torres. It's funny, he does his cooking, and you can learn more about cooking and health and things like that and keep up with Jeff's career. I really appreciated him taking the time to chat with us, and I know it was a little bit more formal and a little bit more casual, the background and the setting and our conversation, but I hope you enjoyed it as much as I had talking to Jeff. So we're going to continue our service with the sharing of the wine. We celebrate the fruit of the vine and the bounty of nature as we lift the cup and sip from it. For we are part of nature, which gave us birth and continues to sustain us. Even as we depend upon nature, so do we influence its course. Through the search for understanding, we have gained the knowledge to shape our world. Guided by the best of human wisdom, the passion of our spirit, we accept the responsibility which rests upon us. May the taste of the wine or juice upon our lips stir within us a reverence for nature and a respect for human endeavor. Bruchim chachayim ba'olam, blessed is the life within the world. Bruchim chachayim ba'adam, blessed is the life within each person. And we say, l'chaim, to life. So check out Jeff's movie, The Donor Party. You can check it out. You can watch a trailer right now, and then you can get a chance to see it after it is released. Come to bethadam.org and take a look at our calendar and see our upcoming events, whether it's a religious school or services or whatever, my newest podcast. Maybe you haven't listened to my podcast in a while. If you go up to the top of the Bethadam website, you'll see podcasts, and you can hear hundreds of them if you are so inclined. And also, when you go to services, if you come to the Bethadam.org website and go to the streaming service page, you can go back in time and watch or listen to services that we recorded over this year and even last year. So I'm really glad that you were able to share this Shabbat with me and with one another. And we close with the words we end with each week. May we know blessings those who are near. May we know blessings those who are far. May the Sabbath bring its goodness to everyone soon, wherever they are. May we know blessings through the day, and may we know blessings through the night. May health be for our children and for all people, and all things soon be right. May we know blessings in our comings, and may we know blessings when we depart. May we live each day with peace and wisdom in each heart. Ken Yehi, let it be. Shabbat Shalom.